Hello, everyone. Let me just start with welcoming everybody who is here. Thank you very much for being here. Today what we are going to do is that we have 7 finalists of Urban Mobility India Innovation Challenge. We started this journey 3 months back when we invited proposals under 4 thematic areas for the UMI Innovation Challenge. We had over 60 odd startups submitting their solutions for this challenge. And we shortlisted them over the last 3 months. And now we have the 7 finalists here with us who will present their pitches in front of the jury that we have here. I'll shortly introduce the jury also. I would also like to thank CSL. Alisha is there from CSL. They have been with us scouting these startups and helping us coordinate with these startups. So a big thank you to Alisha and his team as well. And let me now start with introducing the jury members that we have today for evaluating the proposals. So I would like to start with Dr. Ramachandran. He has been former secretary to Ministry of Urban Development, which is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs now. And second, we have Professor Vijay Kovli from IISc. And then we have Ms. Sarika Saxena from IN Alpha Fund. She is the managing partner at IN Alpha Fund. With that introduction, I would like to invite Alisha, who will be moderating the session, and she'll also set some house rules as to how we are going to go with this pitching session. So let me invite Alisha as a moderator. She'll continue the session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Narendra. Thank you. Firstly, I want to thank GIZ team for giving Carve Startup Labs this much opportunity to be part of the mission, UMI mission. And thanks to all the juries to joining here. So we maybe I'll shortly brief about Carve Startup Labs. We are a Berlin and Bangalore-based company, and we are working with startups to help them expand to international market across 40+ countries so far. So we have this house of rules set for today's session. So I quickly want to I quickly want to share this to every juries and startups who are here. So the pitching session will be like 10 minutes. Kindly stick to 10 minutes, even though we have deck, videos, some of the companies having videos. Kindly be on time, 10 minutes for the pitching and 5 minutes for Q&A. And post that, if there is any additional questions, I request everybody to take it maybe like offline, maybe after the event, after the pitching session, we can take it offline. And for the juries, you might be given a sheet. There will be a sheet with some of the markings. So according to the markings, we can, there is a different kind of 75 points, 55 points, and the complete will be done under the score of 100. So all the best to each and every company out here, and thanks again for joining here. So I would like to request Co-Rover Private Limited. They are AI-powered transportation assistant intelligence. Over to you, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. A very good morning, and really thankful to have us or selected us as a part of this challenge. So we are representing Corover.ai, and I have my colleague Jose Francis, who heads the business in government segment, and I am Abhishek Sharma, who heads the business segment in the enterprises. So moving to quickly, as we have only 10 minutes, so moving to our organization, so Corover is a conversational agentic AI platform through which we built agentic AI conversational, voice bot, video bots, chat bots. So not only in Hindi, English, so we all support 22 scheduled languages of India and 100 plus global languages. And we can deploy our solutions over a web app, social media platform, which contains of around 20 plus channels that we support. And it is like, I can say, we have around 1 billion plus users. So just to mention that the AI industry is good as the data it has. So first we focused on getting the data, then we focus on the domain expertise, and now the solutions that we are creating are agnostic to all functions, industries, and domains. So we have clients like IRCTC, Indian Railways, LIC, SEBI, QCI, and many more. And we are also closely working with our partners like Google, KPMG, Deloitte, Bharat Electronics Limited, and many more. And quickly, so the best part is we have our own large language model, Bharat GPT, which can be integrated with any ERP, CRM system, and also supports the language that I mentioned earlier. So quickly moving on to the slides that we have prepared for this particular innovation challenge. So over to my colleague, Jose Francis.
Thank you, Abhishek. So, kickstarting on this presentation, what we'll do is, of course, identifying who are the key stakeholders when you're looking at a mobility ecosystem. So, considering on that front, of course, we have citizens and commuters who are across, using bus, metro, rails, and even the last mile transport users. Looking at from the government authorities who are the policymakers and state transport authorities at the same time. Lastly, of course, there are also the transport operators who are the metro corporations and who are the service providers and even the smart city administrators. So considering when we are looking into identifying what is their problem statement, today when we are looking at, so we have segregated the whole thing into two segments. One is a citizen-based perspective as well as government-based perspective. So considering when you're looking at a citizen perspective, we have, the biggest issue today is that whenever we have gone to any website, because this is the most primary touch point for any customer, that we go to website and do it. But what we see is that most of this, the website has, of course, got a lot of content which people try to identify where and what. At the same time, when you see from an accessibility or the language, it's only limited either to a Hindi, English, or or the state language or the state language that is there. Rest leaving apart the the other parties who could be interstate or migrants or even foreign travelers. So making it very limited from a language accessibility perspective. We see information silos where inconsistent or delayed updates on routes, fares also impacts the users. Inefficient grievance management system where manual processes and resolutions are slow and opaque at the same time. Last but not the least, the limited inclusivity that we need to establish for non-digital users or elderly and differently abled, and the undeserved in this category. Looking at the problem statement from the government perspective, we have, of course, a data system, a fragmented ecosystem where we don't have a unified platform which integrates all these platforms. We look at operational efficiencies, basis manual-based processes and report preparations and all. Looking at lack of any kind of intelligence that we're looking at from a dashboard or forecasting or consumer sentiment analysis that place. Lastly, we also have dependency which falls onto the government where third-party AI tools which does not offer data sovereignty. So what is the vision that we are trying to offer here today is that how are we looking to establish and building a unified AI-powered transportation and assistance and intelligence platform. So to translate this, what we have already been offering is for citizens is a conversational intelligence assistance where multilingual support for real-time info of ticketing or travel info or even grievance resolution is all automated through a travel assistance. Looking at accessibility, we have, of course, the platform is accessible to across various multi-channel like mobile, WhatsApp, IVR, and various sources. Universal inclusivity where accessibility for regional, interstate, and differently abled, we have provision with voice to text and text to voice based offering for our, for the consumers. When you're looking at from an authorities perspective, we have, of course, the integrated analytics, which provides dashboards from, identifying customer citizens' sentiments or even looking at demand forecasting and service gaps. Looking at automated tracking where grievance tracking and performance monitoring and escalation workflows are also integrated into this platform. Last but not the least, the policy intelligence, which is where we are driven by data today, and getting insights from a platform like Bharat GPT, which is our own LLM, and providing predictive models and sovereign data layer as a solution. So what is this solution based on in terms of its core, integration, in terms of what we are offering from a technology perspective? So our own Bharat GPT sovereign intelligence is basically, is already offering a mobility-driven intelligence and, of course, linguistic-based data sets, so which impacts both data sovereignty and contextual accuracy and inclusivity. An agentic AI kind of a, solution offering which helps to fetch data, complete tasks, and even triggers actions beyond just answering questions. So of course, we are looking at impact of self-driven operations as well as faster service delivery. Composite AI framework is basically, of course, a fusion of both predictive, generative, as well as retrieval and decision AI. Last but not the least, I've already talked about how multimodal and multilingual interface helps us. Looking at real-time mobility integration, where we have integrated with buses, GPS, where we can integrate with the buses, GPS, and APIs to into a single layer conversation layer. From an analytics-driven, of course, we have the dashboards, which helps to drive data-driven data making and as well as proactive interventions. So looking at a comprehensive service capabilities today, we of course have a unified citizen authorities design, which helps to connect both the citizen as well as the transport authorities through conversational and data intelligence layer. So it's not just about a chatbot where you are asking a basic minimum query or a question. It goes beyond that. It tries to understand what are the questions, what is the customer really looking at, what is the need gap, even in terms of asking queries which could be very random to certain things, which gives us a very inclusivity about what are the actual challenges being faced. That's something which actually comes out. The plug and play data integration. So considering Bharat GPT as a platform, we are able to integrate ERM, CRMs, all these backend which are legacy based infrastructure. So trying to incorporate an AI system into a legacy infrastructure is actually a biggest challenge, but which we have kind of overcome. Looking at support from government intelligence, we are looking at identifying service gaps, predict demand, and even monitor satisfaction. It's built for policymakers, which is where the most critical part comes in, where we, trying to analyze route, predictive forecasting, and demands and complaints actually takes a, major foreplay. From a technical feasibility perspective, yes, like the way I've shared. So when you're looking at a legacy compatibility, we are, it can be easily, integrated very seamlessly in terms of, getting into development. And then we have the non-disruptive deployment, which helps in without interrupting the ongoing operations. It's scalable and it's secure and compliant at the same time. So just to give a brief
Video of 1 minute.
Yes, so we have a video which we would like to play, and giving a background to this particular this thing is so. maybe we can-
IRCTC's Disha chatbot now offering you even more convenience and comfort for your train booking. For the first time, book without a password and use only an OTP. Click on the mic to book your ticket by voice. I want to book the train ticket from Delhi to Mumbai for the 25th of November.
Please select the train of your choice.
And select the train of your choice. Fill in the passenger details and proceed. We can pay using various payment options like UPI, credit card, debit card, net banking, and wallets. Enter the OTP, and here is the e-ticket. So, not just ticket booking, we can also check PNR status, change boarding station, cancel ticket, check refund status, view e-ticket, download ERS, and even ask any questions.
So there's a quick video to give you the just overview of the things that we did. So we have handled around 8 lakh concurrent users on this Disha chatbot, and it was working fine. And the same we did for DMRC, Ask Chetna, KSRTC, and many more. So thank you so much. Hope we are fine. Yeah, thank you.
So you guys were on the time, like it hit 10 minutes. And over to the juries, if you have any questions, yeah, we can take 5 minutes for that.
So one of the big concerns with LLMs is the amount they hallucinate, right? So how much fine tuning are you doing so that it doesn't get into the, so one of the concerns we have whenever we are reading all the literature that is there, one is LLMs are getting lazy once you get a solution. So if you have two timetables, right, older timetable and newer timetable, how do you ensure that it doesn't go to the older timetable? Like what kind of fine tuning are you doing to get
Right.
there?
So thank you so much for the question. Yes, it's a very common question that everyone asks. So to answer it, so we train our LLM on business to business basis. Just for example, if we are doing something for the LIC, so then we train on that particular data and put up the guardrails so that the hallucination cannot be done. There is a possibility, because we cannot stop users to ask the particular questions with regards to premiums, loans, and other things. They can ask anything. So now, at that point of time, we can put up the fallback options. Like these are the numbers. If you want a few queries, or if you want to ask something, you can type on this, you will get the reply. But to take care of it, we put up the guardrails. Intent matching in the starting. In the initial phase, we put it from the 60%. If the intent is matching, then it extracts the entity and give the reply. Then we keep on improving it, because AI learns itself too. So this is how we control the hallucinations.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. Just wanted to understand, what is the latency in the chatbot that you have?
So currently it is below 1%.
And also, could you talk a bit more about the competition in terms of when you have customers, the ones that you've mentioned, are they only using you, or they have other providers? One. Secondly, I mean, this kind of a solution, I'm sure, would be fraught with a lot of competition entering this market. So could you talk a bit about that?
Right. So as per the clients who are using our products with regards to IRCTC, Indian Railways, LIC, so they are using our products only. Because from 2019, we are live on IRCTC. It was only earlier it was only an interaction bot that we have. Then we move it to Ask Disha 2.0, where we have initiated end-to-end payment with the payment gateway. You can make the payment. And for the other things, yes, there are companies who are doing wrong things. Just for example, the LLM that we create, Bharat GPT, there are other companies who are also created, but we like applied for the patents and other things so that we can make it secure and showcase to our clients and the other things that we have that particular thing with us.
One quick question before we go to, so you had mentioned about, demand forecasting and service gaps. So are you doing this through sentiment analysis? Because the data that you're reading is not really anything to do with their fare or anything, right?
So you're asking about sentiment analysis?
No, you are saying we also do demand forecasting and service gap analysis.
Right.
Is it based on the sentiment analysis of people who are putting comments in their, on your website or whatever, or is it something more?
So primarily what we see, of course, is learning about, the service gaps also coming from the customer responses.
Perfect.
So we do that, and that helps us to actually raise red flags to, aspects which are not being concerned. However, once we have shared that with the authorities, that's where they start to grow up in terms of how do they, redefine maybe in terms of responding, giving the responses to the audience, or at the same time, improving their services at the same time. So it works at a parallel level.
Answering, just adding to what Joe said, so in DMRC, what we did was, if you go to our chatbot and see, if you say any bad words, so it will not answer, it will mask it, give it a reply, but in the backend, it will raise a red flag that has been forwarded to the CRPF staff and the DMRC officials with the geotag.
Okay. So it is basically you're raising it. You're not really doing any service gap analysis as such. You are basically looking at sentiments, and wherever the sentiments are bad, you're making a point to alert the people, right?
Just to give you an illustration, so right now, what we have done from a service gap perspective, it's also trying to understand from the consumer behavior, which is the primary and the base factor. So looking at, say, DMRC as an example, what made us to extend from a chatbot, which was only giving information related to the train fares or ticketing or even those aspects. Now there is an integration that is currently happening where even we are looking at a last mile connectivity. So So if you go to the DMRC website, you'll actually see integration where a person is landing onto a particular, station. From there, he can actually even book the last mile, connectivity from even booking e-rickshaws or auto rickshaws and, taxis. So that's the level of integration we have undertaken.
I have, so let me ask you one word.
Sure.
So your biggest entry barrier for somebody else is your server firm and all the training you already did? Is that what the entry barrier would be for your competition to do what you're doing?
So for the competition, we are supporting all 22 languages and 100 plus global languages. That
But
is one.
others are also doing this process, right? So,
But they are not to that stage.
they're not. So you
That's
have
and the second part is we have the data. We have like 1.4 billion plus users. So
So, sir, just to add and complement to what Abhishek said, the whole aspect of, any AI, the whole thing is driven as to how AI actually starts to learn the data or starts to understand the data, because it's an ongoing learning process that happens. So when we have other entry players or even who are established in terms of, giving a solution, what we generally say is, what works as a differentiator for us is the AI is established on, a database which is very vast, and with 1 billion users onto the platform, helps us to actually improvise our, responses and technology. Because for a person who may question a particular answer or a question to a, to a chatbot or to our platform, they generally will not be able to, they'll be getting an enhanced version of understanding the customer more, rather than coming to a customer, rather than going to a AI company who may not have that kind of data sets to actually, back it up. So that's the idea. Thank you.
So we have a time constraint, but thank you so much, Kaurav, and thanks to the juries as well. I remind kindly all the juries to note down the marks in the score sheet as well. And over to the next participant. It's Street Search. Yeah, over to you. So I know the audience might be curious and ask a lot of questions. So pose all the juries and all the sessions, all the pitches, competitions, and we can hand over some time, maybe 1 or 2 minutes to the audience. So I kindly ask the audience to note down the questions to particular companies. Yeah, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Saurabh Kasturi. I'm the founder of Street Search. So we provide tech solutions to transform urban mobility and provide transport planning solutions. So the core thesis was that urban mobility is broken and fixing it is urgent. Especially in India, despite very low personal ownership rates of 57 vehicles per 1,000 residents, our cities are overwhelmed by gridlock and dangerously high pollution levels, and everyone suffers from it. The problem has come home to many of us living in Delhi NCR. And many of the solutions that are sort of touted and very often repeated as the fix for it provide partial solutions, provide partial fixes. First is expanding road infrastructure. This is often a temporary fix because of induced demand. When you build more roads, when you build more road infrastructure, typically people buy more vehicles and fill up those road infrastructure. A very good example is Delhi NH8. When NH8 was built between Delhi and Gurugram, the travel times obviously reduced, but it encouraged more sprawl. More people started working in Gurugram and living in Delhi. And that sort of, now we're back to a situation where traveling between Delhi and Gurugram takes almost 1.5 hours. Electric vehicles don't truly solve congestion. An EV vehicle takes the exact amount of space as an ICE vehicle, and it doesn't truly solve the problem of inclusivity where low-income groups cannot travel or have lack of mobility options. Public transportation, which sort of is the most promising inclusive mobility solution, is broken. It has very poor coverage, very bad user experience, and only truly today the captive are forced to use it. And over the past 10 years, despite growing population in our cities, paradoxically, the riderships have declined for public transportation, at least for the bus systems in the country. Now, as I mentioned, public transport, which is the backbone of inclusive mobility, the reasons are plentiful, right? So 200 million people in India today restrict employment to within a walking radius of their homes, because that's all, they don't have any other mobility options. providing them mobility unblocks employment options for them, gives them a path to a better life. It can increase women's labor force participation by almost 15 to 20%. And a 10% shift, a modal shift from private vehicles to public transport in the city can reduce city emissions by almost 18%. Yet, this is where the planning of public transportation systems have lagged behind. We still rely very heavily on outdated data sources. These are manual passenger counts and in-person household travel surveys, which typically capture less than 1% of a city's or a geographical region's population. And what typically happens is in cities which are as diverse as Indian cities, it does not truly capture what the travel patterns or the mobility needs of a city are. And the second is network design, scheduling, route planning, which is at the heart of a good transportation network which tries to match a supply with demand. This is still today done manually using manual trial and error design. And this is where supply and demand don't match, and we rely on tribal knowledge, field knowledge, etc., to try and tackle this problem. This is where we're trying to come in and provide a full stack planning toolkit for designing and planning public transportation. The first solution is the data layer, where we provide big data for mobility, which is essentially to say we're trying to measure travel demand patterns of any city, any geography, using passive digital sources like mobile phone, GPS signals, telematics devices, and providing them in an aggregated manner, running ML engines on them to figure out what people's travel needs are. And then it's the design, and then the second is the design layer. We're using this demand layer, we're using the data layer, we design the public transportation networks, and provide routing and scheduling. Just very quickly, big data for mobility provides using smartphone apps telematics to provide mobility data. It can provide use cases for comprehensive mobility planning, feasibility, DPR, AAR studies, first and last mile planning, and even also occasional use cases for tourism mobility planning, etc. It has, the pros are pretty significant. Traditional methods take only less than 1% of the city's population. These data sources can provide 15 to 20% coverage, and turnaround times and costs are significantly better. Obviously, you improve the accuracy of your data collection because it's passive rather than interview biases, and biases don't come into account. And obviously, human and recall biases are lesser. The second is, how do we use this for doing transport planning network design? So a network design, route planning, scheduling, these are inherently very complex activities because they have billions of possible permutations and combinations. Now, if you sit down and try and do it on Excel or on any GIS-based softwares, you run into extremely large number of possible combinations that any human can't handle. Even if you give it to a computer, the number of years a solver will try to do brute forcing will run into hundreds of years or thousands of years. So this is where AI and meta-heuristics-based solvers can take your demand inputs, can take your operational inputs, and generate a route network, generate your schedules, which are more demand responsive and match supply and demand better. So this is what it looks like in reality. Our solvers sort of take into account what your demand matrices are, whatever your operational constraints are, route length, whether you want your routes to intersect with metro stations, whatever your driver breaks and behaviors are. If it's an EV vehicle, how often does it need to charge? And basis that, it generates your route networks and your schedules that can then be implemented by the public transportation agency. So we've demonstrated and deployed this technology for the Devi bus route network in Delhi. Devi buses, just for everyone's context, are 2,000 mid-size 9-meter EV buses that the Delhi government recently launched. So we designed the route network for this entire, and the idea for Devi buses was to provide last mile connectivity and inter-neighborhood connectivity, and essentially fill in the gaps of the existing bus route network, go into roads where today our 12-meter or larger buses today don't go. We designed this route network, and it has led to significant success. We're getting a 38% improvement in transport accessibility. 23 lakh residents are now, for the first time, getting public transport access within 500 meters of their homes, which when they did not have any public transport access today. We estimate a steady state ridership of 8 lakh per day, with 60% of them being women. Given this, in terms of scalability, we feel that this significantly reduces your project times. Any project which would typically, a DPR project, any planning project which would typically take 1.5 to 2 years, these timelines can be condensed down to 6 months because demand assessment, which typically takes the most amount of time in terms of field service, can be condensed down to 2 to 3 weeks. And then route planning, which again becomes very tribal knowledge, field experience based, can be automated. Obviously, this does not get you 100% of the way. It gives you a good 80-90% starting point, and then the transport planners can work on that, do community engagement to sort of get feedback on the route network that you've generated and designed. And the implementation timelines can be very significantly condensed. And then the real world impact is the proof of the pudding is how much are you matching the real world reality. So historically, our metro DPRs, projected riderships have not been achieved even after 2 to 3 years of steady state operations, etc. In comparison, for the Devi Bus project that I just spoke of, within 1 month of operations, we're already at 55% of the projected ridership, and this is slowly growing as and when people slowly change their travel behaviors, modal shift starts to occur more and more. We are fairly confident that we'll start to sort of see close to projected ridership. Market validation, these are the clients we worked with. We worked with Indian and international agencies, Delhi Metro and DTC. We're based out of Delhi, NCR, so these are our two biggest customers. We work with IIT Delhi for a lot of technical validation. The Devi Bus project was in partnership with IIT Delhi, where they acted as technical supervisors. We've also worked for Canadian transit agencies and state highway authorities. Delhi Traffic Police, Pimpri Chinchwad Municipal Corporation. And obviously the use cases in which this technology can be deployed are across all public transport planning and even urban planning and city level DPR, comprehensive mobility plans, travel demand and travel time analytics. So any metro, so for example, Delhi Metro has procured travel demand inputs from us for their DPR planning project. So they're writing the DPR, but we provide them the travel demand patterns, travel demand models, etc. basis our big data technology. And we're also starting to do now intercity bus operations plans. So we're doing it for Madhya Pradesh in partnership with UMTC, where we're designing the bus operations plan for the whole state of Madhya Pradesh, a division within the whole state of Madhya Pradesh. That's kind of my deck. So I'm Saurabh, I'm the founder. Atulesh is here as well. He's one of the co-founders. We're a team who are interdisciplinary in nature. I come from a tech background. We have transport planners and traffic engineers in our team. And we feel this is kind of where this industry needs to go. There needs to be more interdisciplinary behavior, where what has historically been done for many years now needs to be transformed with tech. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Over to the juries for the comments and questions.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm going back a little back into history, if I may put it like that. You recall Delhi tried the BRTS.
Yes.
I suppose it's always based on some studies.
Right.
Delhi Metro you referred to.
Yes.
They always talk about ridership, but it never reaches that figure anywhere in the country.
Okay.
So what is that critical factor which is different as far as your approach is concerned?
So there are two factors. One is purely demand estimation is a sampling size problem. If you are trying to sample 0.5% of a population in a city as diverse as Delhi, which has urban villages, which has very high income groups, middle income groups, you can never reach the accuracy of your sample size never reaches representativeness unless you sample a bigger population. So this is where these digital sources can help, which can give you a sample size of 15 to 20% of the population. All the layers of tech and overall things that we do to be able to use it is just the tools to get to the final end state. But the core problem is the sample size. When you're sampling less than 1% of a population, you'll never be representative enough to describe the future. And the second is obviously figuring out that, yes, hey, if your data was wrong and then the planning you're doing basis the data is also manual in nature, tribal knowledge, field experience, etc., you're not really capturing how well this network could have been designed. So the problem lies on both steps. The second step aggravates the first problem. Bad data plus manual planning sort of leads to outcomes where we are never sort of reaching the DPR estimates, etc.
Just one more point before I give it to Sarika.
Yes.
Devi is the first trial point as far as you are concerned?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Do they go out to routes which are not normally frequented by bus routes?
Absolutely, sir. So
They
yeah,
do.
so that was, oh, sorry, my deck is off
It's
now.
okay, it's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, the idea was that, yes, these are smaller buses, 9-meter versus 12-meter buses. So the primary idea was to connect regions, zones, road networks, which are today untouched by 12 meters. So the ridership that we're getting are predominantly new riders. These are not cannibalized from existing.
Okay, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you for the presentation. Just to add on to the questions already, so what you're doing is only for the new and something new that you're building, right? So what happens to the existing infrastructure that we have?
So we're getting into route rationalization projects as well. So with Delhi Transport Department, since we've completed Devi Bus, now the existing bus route network that has operated since 20, 30 years and has only been sort of ad hoc, sporadic changes basis some, RWS requests, some politicians' requests, etc. So these have all been ad hoc changes, and it has led to a network where, some routes are, extremely packed with load factors of greater than 90%, and some operate at less than 20%. So the whole network needs to be relooked and redesigned. And obviously, the mobility patterns have changed, right? Connaught Place or Rajiv Chowk is no longer the downtown. Gurugram and Noida have more offices and more office-going population than, it may not feel like to this group, but at least in the IT sector, etc. That's kind of the case. And you see that in our road congestion metrics as well, right? The Gurugram, Noida roads are more congested. So these things can be changed. Even with metro systems, the future metro systems that you build, the last mile connectivity planning that you need to do for existing metro systems, all of this can use this.
And just a follow-on question. So the data for the new Devi buses, you've had a large sample size, which you mentioned 15 to 20%. So the data that's the data that you had kind of procured, is that right? So what happens supposing you were to change the metro routes or do something different there? Will the availability of data be to the same level, and how much time would it take compared to if you're doing something greenfield?
So greenfield versus existing projects doesn't really matter. The data can be refreshed at a 2-week frequency, a monthly frequency. The challenge more is there is no ownership of a centralized city-level demand model. So we built one for Devi buses, but unfortunately it's still with us. Nobody took it from us and centralized it in a city level and said, hey, now that this demand model exists, everything that new happens should be refreshed in this demand model. So that's more of an institutional problem as to there is not a central body who can own travel demand models in a city. But yeah, we're happy to engage. We'll be happy to be like owners of a travel demand model for some government agency, some government department, and continuously refresh and update this. So the refreshes can happen at 2-week frequency, monthly frequency. In large-scale planning projects, it doesn't even need to be that frequent. Typically, a 6-month refresh is generally sufficient. Yeah.
And once it is done? It is done. Do you keep changing it like you mentioned? So Devi buses, sorry, just to complete, Devi buses, bus routes you can change, but what about the metro corridor and things like that? So once that is fixed, and when you say the demand changes and the mobility pattern changes of people, then how do we tackle that problem?
So yeah, so you can keep refreshing your demand model. So you've introduced a new perturbation in the network, you've added new buses. So yes, the mobility patterns will change. People who use two-wheelers today will start using buses. People who use e-rickshaws today will start using buses. People who typically used to just take a cab somewhere now probably might take a metro, use this bus to get to a metro station and then use the metro. So all of this can be built in, can be refreshed. So the travel demand model should be a centralized thing which keeps getting refreshed every 1 month, 2 month, typical frequency, and that sort of ownership, if it's with a single city, then all the inputs, for example, NCRTC extended their network from till Sarai Kale Khan, there will be a very drastic mobility pattern change in the city. That should be captured, that should be sort of accounted for in the centralized travel demand model. Sorry, yes.
So quickly, actually not quickly, the gap that we see, right? You're bad-mouthing traditional models, but I see the same gap here also because the basic problem with all this BRT and everything having problems is the stated preference survey that we do is never true, right? Even when we take 25% of the people who say, I'll move to bus at so-and-so cost. And in these models, we never have the socioeconomic data, right? Yeah. So if you don't have the socioeconomic data and you just have the OD data, how do we know that what percentage of people will actually use the bus?
So we do have socioeconomic data actually. If you, sorry, I'm referring to a private conversation we once had, the metadata that I once shared with you. That has demographics, that has population, and that we overlay income data on top of this. So we figured out data sources apart from just property tax circle rates, etc. We do a lot of web scraping to figure out what is the vehicle ownership rates, what are the...
Okay, let me ask the next one. Yes. So good that you are using the socioeconomic because you didn't say anywhere in your presentation you're doing that.
Yes, yes.
And it's an important part of it,
absolutely,
right?
Yes.
Then the second part of it, the question is that when we are looking at the mobile data, the one that you're scraping out, and we were looking at the same data, the number of data points that we are getting is very, very less. Okay. Number of data points that were only 1 point, which doesn't really tell you where they are going, was about 80% of the data that we got in. Okay. And so this is we got from 3 different vendors and all that.
Sure.
Are you not having that problem? Because finally it is about when you open your app, that app, and when you close it, right? Yeah. This is not the telecom data. This is your mobile data.
Absolutely.
So
you have to compensate for that, and you obviously get that, but you have to compensate that for by procuring a longer time duration. The idea is that you have to form a representative day for every device. Now, for every device that you capture, there might be some discontinuity gaps, but if you're trying to build a model using 6 months of data, you will be able to form a representative day for that one device. That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation and for the questions. Now I would like to invite Movo Fleet for their innovation, for showing their innovations.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Jay Bharti, founder of Movo Fleet, where we are going to look at the future of mobility by driving India's future mobility, that is the women. And of course, my previous partners have said a lot about data, but because we don't have data which is available, which can actually measure the ratio of women in India with commercial driver's licenses, but with whatever limited data, the ratio is less than 2% and actually much lesser than 2% when it specifically comes to the women who are working in the mobility workforce. This is when compared to the... Is the mic on? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Should I be a bit loud? Okay, thank you. This is when compared to the 4 million plus male workforce in the same space. Of course, it's not about competing, but this is all while India continues to have the mobility workforce crisis. In the next 3 to 4 years, we still need 20 lakh plus workforce. Our wish is how can we bring women even at 1 to 5% over the next 4 to 5 years. That is where the gap that we are seeing. And when it comes to very precisely to the mobility workforce, enough has been said in the previous sessions too, that there is a lot of idle time, especially in the micro mobility and the last mile mobility, and limited sources for reliable EV fleets as well. Whether it is two-wheeler, three-wheeler, or four-wheeler, we still are at a very nascent stage. The bigger problem is, even though there has been so much of work which is happening in last mile mobility, safe rides for women and children continue to be a problem in almost any given urban cities in India. So what we believe is cities cannot scale sustainably without scaling the workforce. And in that workforce, we want to bring in women because we believe that India's untapped mobility workforce can be substantiated by bringing in women, especially in riding two-wheelers and three-wheelers. We are not getting into the four-wheeler and the higher vehicles, but more focused on two-wheelers and three-wheelers. Because through that, we can offer them safe rides, reliable rides, and also the women in the mobility workforce can stay consistent. That is one of the major pillars. A lot of our partners also like work with us. And then they're also, what we have seen, the trend is they're quick adapters of EV because this is the time they're stepping into mobility space, and they are more keen to take what is today and what's in the future rather than using the vehicles which are already there. So our strength is bringing in trained women drivers, and we offer them dignified employment. What we call our riders are road-ready women drivers. We do use tech, but that is more to enable them to pick up and do these rides, very specific to two-wheelers and three-wheelers. And our focus is in hyper-local logistics and commute, where we work only in 8-kilometer radius of where the women currently reside. That is a neighboring area they're comfortable to work with, and there is enough demand for last-mile logistics and commute within a 8-kilometer radius in 20 plus urban cities in India. You may ask, how did I get that 20 plus number? We have done a lot of work. I mean, after the session, I'll be happy to share a lot of research we have done and where this comes from. And then we offer large B2B logistic companies by supplying our women drivers to do their last mile services. We also offer subscription-based last-mile commute services, especially for women, children, and elderly, with a trip chaining module where they can subscribe for the rides for 2 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours to run their quick errands within the neighborhoods. And the biggest focus that we have, or why we are very uniquely positioned, is we are building the technology for the women drivers. Of course, there will be a customer interface when it comes to the subscription-based rides, but our focus, innovation, research, and everything goes into building an app that a women driver can use, considering her digital levels, a simple app which can schedule her rides or her day. For example, this is Sarla's day. So in the morning, she can do milk deliveries. Then she goes back to her home and does her household chores. Between, thank you. Between 9:30 to, let's say, about 2:33, which is not a very peak hour, she works with Blue Dart. And then in the evening, 4:30 to 6:30, she's doing 2 hobby class rides. For example, a child goes to a swimming school. The parents are busy working from home. Sarla takes the kid to a swimming session, stays with her for 1 hour, and brings her back home. And the customers, which are the parents, are very happy to actually send. And now the girl calls her Didi, and wherever she wants to go, she wants Sarla Didi to be there with her. So that's how we schedule the women riders' day plan, by matching her with both logistics and commute within her own neighborhood in a way that she will be comfortably doing these kind of rides. And therein optimizing the routes. And what we offer to the women drivers is fixed monthly salary, not daily this thing, but fixed monthly salary, where we will be giving them scheduled tasks that these are the things. Let's say you have to deliver 800 deliveries in a month and do 2 rides, or you have to do 3 to 4 milk subscriptions. And this highly also depends on where they reside. For example, in certain areas, I come from Hyderabad, and if we take Delhi as an example also, in certain areas, the demand for last mile rides is more, where there are more workplaces or metro stations or bus stations. In certain areas, the demand for last mile logistics is more. So depending on where they live, we do a lot of optimization and make her choose the ride that she has to do. Over the last 3 years, we have arrived at 80% revenue hours for the time that the women is spending. So in short, our USP is combining both the fixed and dynamic mobility services, and thus getting enhanced earnings for the women when she spends so much time on the road. Our business model is a combination of serving both B2B and B2C. Largely comes from B2B because there are enough players in the market who have high demands, and mapping the women within those neighborhoods is much easier. Our hope is to get to more to B2C rides, but obviously the numbers will be much lower. So we always look at a combination of both B2B and B2C. We started in 2022, where maximum of our business came from the B2B entities. But in the next 5 years, now that we have built the technology based on the learnings from the past 3 years, by 2030, we want to arrive at that 70 to 30% of our business model. Um, we don't need to say much about India's mobility market size. It's only growing rapidly, but there is enough for us to cater to. And in the first 4 to 5 years, we will be able to get to the break-even point at the current financial projections that we have. And while all of this might sound nice and good and may not be, oh, can this be scaled to bigger numbers? It can be, because here is Sarla, a true ambassador, who was our first driver who joined with us in 2022. The first 2 years, all we did is we took 20 drivers. We put them to work across 20 plus B2B and B2C kind of rides and experimented it to the core. And today she continues to work with us. When she started working, that's the first job she did while she was 41 years old. Her salary then was 12,000, and today in 3 years her salary is 25,000. And all this doing the same thing. She works max to max 7 to 8 hours in a day within the radius of that 7-8 kilometers at her home, and by just clocking in less than 60 kilometers, because she's just doing the jobs which are in that neighborhood. She doesn't need to move from one part of the city to the other just in the name of getting a better livelihood. And she started off using a nice vehicle, but because she has seen that driving can be an aspirational livelihood for women, she has now invested in an electric scooter, and thus are the stories of many women who work with us. So like I said, in the first 3 years, we have just experimented based out of Hyderabad. We have 70 plus drivers now who have completed more than 200,000 trips. What we have arrived at is 80% revenue hours. That is where we fetch maximum of our revenues from. We have raised about 150,000 primarily in grants. We've been very well supported by Upaya, Wilgrow, and Acumen as of now. One of our largest B2B partners is Blue Dart. We tied up with them in the second year. We continue to do, and they keep sending us the demands to explore in the other cities as well. And one of our strongest support arm is the not-for-profit I have started 6.5 years ago, more social initiatives, through which we do a lot of advocacy, motor trainings for women across India. And through the not-for-profit, we have already gone to 20 plus locations in India, directly reached out to 35,000 women, trained about 5,000 women, again, more specific in two-wheelers and three-wheelers. And that becomes a strong support structure for us. And of course, we are looking for a 3 crore seed fund, primarily we want to use most of it for the driver onboarding and continuing to develop our technology. With this, we are hopeful to reach to 500 drivers in the next year. We are doing a very innovative project with one of the state governments where they'll be using our app to deploy about 150 women as auto rickshaw drivers at main high-density public transport hubs. And I am a motorcyclist by passion. I myself have ridden more than 100,000 kilometers multiple times across India. I've been from here to Vietnam. I've ridden all across US. And the lessons I learned from the road is what makes me believe how a woman can stay on the road for 8 hours and what does it take. Apart from that, professionally, I'm an architect, but I've spent about 8 years in this space, and all I want is women to be there and the gender ratio to be seen on the roads, through which it feels more safer to the others. I'll just take 30 seconds, sorry. I am backed by our CTO, who has 16 years of experience, exited 3 startups, and we have Pramoda, our advisor, as we switch into the electric vehicle space. This is a time we need to invest in women who will drive the future of mobility. Since there are many government stakeholders from here, my only request is, while me and my fellow ferry rides is also there, we are struggling our best to make this happen. The support we need is fast-track permits and licenses, especially when considering women as commercial drivers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Over to the questions.
Thank you for the presentation. So just to understand, the vehicles are owned by the women themselves.
Yes.
And while you are, you're providing this platform to them, what stops them from, working with the Ubers and Olas of the world and maybe earning something similar? And, so I just want to understand what is the moat here?
Yeah. So, like you rightly said, okay, my this thing, the deck is gone. But what stops them is, like I'm saying, Blue Dart has been our partner for the last 2 years. Even today, if Blue Dart says, come join directly with us, none of the drivers go there. They directly want to work with us. I'll give you the simple reason. There are many big players, let's not take the names, many big players, the women are not able to, and they're doing their best to actually hire more number of women in their roles. But like I said, because of the empty rides, like when we did the experiment with 20 odd B2B, both in the logistics and commute, when it comes to commute, 40% of the deliveries go undelivered. And these delivery companies will pay only for the packages which are being delivered. Similar is the case with the commute. 50% of the return rides go empty. And that's the reason most of the women are not joining the major players as of today. What they need is something that they can do near to their home. And again, they're not, looking at working for 12 to 13 hours and earn 40,000, 50,000. For them, if they are spending even 4 hours or 5 hours on the road and earn a decent income of 15,000 to 30,000, they're more than happy. So what is lacking is mapping them to the jobs they can do in their own areas based on their skill level. If I can just request to share my deck for a minute, is that possible? Yeah, just, yeah, yeah, just 2 seconds. Yeah, we'll take more time, but yeah. The other thing is, when we screen the women who want to become drivers, we filter them into what is their current skill level. Do they know driving? Do they have license? Do they have everything? Can they directly become the driver? Depending on them, we send them back to the training, or we help them get the bank accounts and link up to the police verification and all those things. We help them with that, and then decide, based on her experience, can she be a B2B rider or can she be a B2C rider? Does she know how to ride a two-wheeler? Is she willing to become a three-wheeler riding? So it's more like we are supporting them on their journey to become a driver. That is what makes us a bit unique.
Mainly business, like we are not seeing an entry barrier, right? Yeah. Namayatri tomorrow.
The CAC, I mean, I'm interested that while you're doing all of this, you have to find the jobs at a particular locality for them to be available.
Yes.
So the CAC, in my opinion, would be quite high in terms of figuring out, because that's very local.
Yeah.
So for you to expand, for you to scale, I have just questions on that.
So no, that's a great question. So that is the reason we actually partner, though there are 100 plus B2B entities across country who have pan-India operations. We look to aspire to partner only with 5 plus mobility companies, like for example, Blue Dart, which already has pan-India network, and they give us a unique pricing model for that. So when I move and scale to other cities, I don't have to look for newer partners. And entities like Blue Dart have high demand logistic things for every 3 kilometers, and that's the reason we are only focused on the urban cities and not yet delving into the rural areas. So the demand is high, it's always a supply we need to work for.
Let me ask you a technology question. Like I'm not seeing you talking about any open protocols on which your technology stack is based on.
Yeah.
Like Namayatri, like the ONDC and stuff, which help them get into the mass area, right? Mobility as a service area. So is that one of your technology improvements that you want to do, or any reason why it is a closed system?
So it's a closed system simply because, sir, we are not so high in numbers. Even if I get a lot of funding, maybe I can only reach up to 50,000 or 1 lakh drivers in the next 5 to 6 years. And like the localization that we are doing. So for example, our technology, we only schedule the driver's timeline. If I tell the driver that during this B2B time, you have to log into Blue Dart or to Zomato, through my app, I'm only giving the link. Ultimately, they have to go and use either the Blue Dart app or the Zomato app. So we don't want to invest a lot of our energy in technology. Our strength is bringing women as drivers to work with these forces. So we want to be focused on that. Yes. So initially when we started, we actually partnered with a lot of EV leasing companies. But what we have seen is women prefer to own the vehicles rather than taking it on the lease, because at today's market prices, the leasing cost is quite high. So for example, Sarla's case, there have been 6 more women who after 1 year, they know that we are going to continue working here. We want to own the vehicle. So we partner with entities which can help them with the financing, and because they get fixed monthly salary, now they have a CIBIL score where they are eligible for the loans. So sorry, that's cut over, but yeah. So we also give them insurance and compensation in case there is an accident or this is, I can talk more offline on how this happens. That's why offline later on once he speaks, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Fleet. Thank you, Jayabharati. With that, now I invite Rasta.ai for giving the presentation. Mr. Rahul, yeah. Can we have their deck, please?
Thank you. Shall I start? Hello everyone, my name is Rahul. I'm the founder Rasta.ai. So Rasta AI is based on the data of road condition, and it get the analytics, different approaches for the government authority to monitor and maintain the road network as well as the new infrastructure project. So my company name is AI Unica Technologies. We are based out of Pune. We have 3 products like Rasta AI, Rasta 360 and Construction 360. All these products help government authorities to optimize the resources, to identify the right pattern of damaged road and improve as per the budget allocation available from the ministries. So what is the road challenge in India? Why Indian roads are totally bad? Or sometimes we are in the anger, why road is bad? So there is India has one of the most and diverse road network. To monitor every stretch, it is not possible for the government authorities to go and see each and every stretch. Current drone and AI-based tools available in industry, those are not a civil engineering centric. So the problem and gap is, those tools have just a technology but don't have the approach which government engineer expect. Third thing is, manual inspection are too subjective, and the high-level integrated things like different NSVs, those NSVs are not capable to process the data in a shorter time. Jitna road kharab hai, usse zyada kharab ho jata hai until the data receives. And another thing is DLP, defect liability period. So everyone construct the road and run away. So they are not maintaining into a defect liability period because of all the data is in a paper format only, and government authorities can't identify the actual DLP roads and stretches. So here are some bottlenecks. There is no real-time automated system for the contractor communication, enforcement at a RO level and divisional level. Second thing is, repairs, they can't track at a very large level. They can't visualize from the remote location. There is a limited bandwidth into a government offices, and they can't go and visualize or inspect each and every point of road condition. So what is Rasta AI? It is a 360-degree virtual inspection platform which is ready to deploy. Government authorities can do the baseline with us. Once they have baseline, their engineer can roam around the road whenever they want at a normal car speed, and they can analyze the road data at an intelligent scientific numbering. Like there are some few guidelines from the Indian Road Congress. So all these guidelines is complied by this system. So it could be get them a real analytics where they need to repair a road, what are the conditions, what are the bottlenecks of the road condition monitoring, all this. So it is centralized dashboard for them. There are a few flexible applications for them, and it is a comprehensive reporting solution for the higher authorities. The higher authorities could not make a decision unless and until they have the proper data and analytics. So every pothole starts with a minor cracks and it goes there. So like time get consumed, the cost get arise. So what we propose, we analyze the data using AI where the cracks is available right now. If there is a 1,000 road and every road have the cracks, but we identify the traffic data on that specific road, the environment data of that specific road, and on the basis of that algorithm, we identify which road may become bad in near future, or where the pothole get established in very soon. So that's the first offering we are doing. Second thing is prioritization. Government always have the limited fund. So repairing cost is higher, but funds are limited. So we optimize and analyze how they can repair the more road network in the like lesser funds. So how it works, it's a very simple solution. Any engineer or any vehicle, we can mount a simple 360 camera. Once it starts on the road, it automatically start detecting the cracks, manholes, the electric feeder, street light, like a 65 type asset and defect. All this asset and defect is the very important aspect for the government authorities like hoarding and all. So surface defect makes a maintenance prospective analytics, and the asset defect get them the enforcement level analytics. So once the process, all the entire data comes on the GIS map, the higher authority can just directly click and visualize that location, how it look like, what are the problems available on that specific street. And this is the demo actually. So government authority can visualize, the commissioner, municipal commissioner or PWD higher authorities, they can visualize, they can go and see the each and every aspect of road. Here is a road code also, there is a chainage also, so they can precisely identify what are the problem in the road network. So we have deployed this solution in Nagpur. So all these red dots are the bad stretches of road. So authority can filter it out where is the exact bad stretches, what are the causes of bad stretches. So it show like this. I have made a transformer right now. So this is the electric feeder. Whatever inventory and asset the government authority want to monitor, they can visualize using the simple click on the map. So here is the, so as an authority, if I want to see the only bad patches on my road, so these are the bad patches. The authority can click and visualize that specific bad patch, how it look like, how much, and it automatically calculate the budget also, how much cost is there to repair, and all the cost is based on the SSR, state scheduled rates. So how it works, it's a simply platform. The government needs to deploy vehicle like this, or any government vehicle can be a survey vehicle for them. It automatically, whenever they drive on the road, it automatically capture the data and process and give to the field engineer what are the bottlenecks of their road network. So it's a portable dashcam solution also we have built. Using their own car dashcam, they can analyze, monetize the road network and take the interactive reports for their different needs on day-to-day basis operations. After the work, there are lots of duplication happen into a government road projects. So what happens, the multiple time with the politicians' pressure, what they does, they took the maintenance of same road multiple times, but sometimes the important roads are missing. So we have identified the before, after, like pre-work and post-work analysis. If the work has been done, there is a defect liability analytics, everything. This is the construction monitoring platform. We have built a construction monitoring platform for the different stretches of road. The delay in the project construction is also impact on the government money and public safety when they are traveling on road. So we have built this platform for the better analytics and identification of right combination of road construction. So they can analyze project-wise, area-wise. They can visualize that construction site from the remote location. It helps for the DPR contractors, DPR consultants. It helps for the contractor, and it helps also for the road safety auditors and auditing teams for the virtual inspection of the entire network. So what is difference between other road AIs and Rasta AI? So all have the limited views and manual checks. We are completely end-to-end solution with the 90 minutes data processing capabilities. Whatever data is processed in the 90 minutes using the scientific methodologies. AI technologies, basic AI or manual identification, annotations. So we done with the AI-driven automation and accurate detection as per the road manuals. Whatever manuals available with the central government or the ASTM standards. So all those inspection has done by as per those manuals. So these are our current clients, PWD Maharashtra, MMRDA, NHAI, MSIDC, and we have deployed this solution in the Japan also, Tokyo Port Authority and Fukuoka City. As well as we received few awards like AI Game Changer Innovation of the Year last year, Masiya Award and Thai Innovation Award by the Thai Highways. So we are building the smart real-time alert for the bike riders. Most of the fatalities happen with the riders only. So what we are doing, we are building a dash cam for the bike. So on the basis of dash cam, it automatically analyzes the road stretch and it sends a signal to all our existing customer. There is a pothole after 50 meters or after 30 meters. You can slow down your speed or take care about your ride. So we are building with the audio features and all. We have POCs going on and research going on with the Hero Motocorp actually. So it is patented technology. We have built the real-time data connected dashboard and it now in the POC or the pilot stage. So it's a made in India totally. All the computer vision platform is based on the YOLO, but we have built a entire convolutional layer and all this in-house as a project Netram. So we are going to launch our open source which made in India for the computer vision as a competition of YOLO. So it's totally made in India. The other use cases are like any construction activities. Okay, okay, fine, thank you. So we can use for the different infrastructure monitoring and all. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You referred to some Nagpur and all has used it. Can you be a little bit more clear as to, have the highways also deployed this?
Correct. So we have deployed it for the Nagpur Municipal Corporation and National Highway Authority of India because of Nagpur's project. I met Mr. Gadkari and he liked the solution because government contractors are not complying. They are always mentioning in their speech, highway contractor are not complying the things. That's why the people complain and have the concerns. So
no, if it's such a wonderful thing, why are in many cities the entire national highway network not going into this?
Sir, RFP is already released. We are doing that. The tender is also closed.
Are we, so this is a hardware agnostic platform?
No, it's an app also. So any engineer can inspect their.
No, I'm talking about the cameras, etc. So that it is able to integrate with any kind of camera, like we saw the dash cam. So a lot of this can also be done, at least the surveillance is now being done by drones. So is there a capability of, when the cameras that they have are quite, advanced these days?
Correct. So for the 360-degree, we need to use some specific cameras to virtually inspect the site. But for the normal inspection, because algorithm is same, it is computer vision. So whatever video we give to them, like the system can automatically analyze whatever results we have pre-feeded it. Like if there is a bad roads on the street. So you can take a video of that and it could be a process automatically and send a report to municipal commissioner. These 10 spots are the damage. And we also analyze if there is a bad stretch, how much traffic is there, how much delay is there. So on the basis of that, we can analyze how much priority is to repair.
And where does the data reside? Are you the owner of this data?
Yeah.
Or is it from the
government? Government is the owner of the data if they provide us the order. If it is open source shared by the user, then we are the owner for that.
Because if you're talking to a private company like Hero, you will have to take the, how are you going to match the data?
Correct. So for Hero, we have one collaboration together. So in that, we are totally collaboratively owner of that specific data because we are giving alert to entire Hero two-wheelers, not to Bajaj, because Hero is making a monopoly in their two-wheelers. Yeah.
Can you talk about your training process? Because the values you are showing are really high,
Yeah.
but the training that you need to do for that is extraordinary.
Correct.
And when you say 90 minutes, I can do it,
Correct.
it depends on how much training you have done, right?
Correct.
So talk to me about the training.
Correct. So if we talk about the raw data when we started, so there are 65 classes, and for the each.
So let's talk about only the potholes, right? The types of potholes.
Okay,
and,
so
right?
there
you're
are
talking
8 type of surface defect as per the Indian Road Congress: major, minor pothole, reveling, rutting, and cracks, alligator crack, and all this. So we have done the data. I think for the pothole we have done 3,000 kilometers data. So each kilometer we get a frames around 200 frames for each kilometer. So 200 images per kilometer into 3,000 kilometer data we have trained as a first level when we started using YOLO. Now
Which version of YOLO?
V8 earlier. Now we have like before Netram we used I think V10. So after V10 we started building a Netram. So now Netram is capable to analyze so all the data, and it train the data in house.
And you gave a value of F1 of 0.97.
Yeah.
That seems very unrealistic. So
Yes.
please talk to me about it.
So what happened for some specific classes, there is a high value which we are able to achieve, but some classes like damaged signboards or off street light, like not working street light, there is less data available on the street also. So in that case, there will be a value fluctuation as per the class base. So we have identified these value for the surface classes.
And you're talking about you can do roughness index,
Yeah.
which is little surprising with
Yes.
vision and this one. Because even in NSV, right, you're
Yes,
comparing yourselves with NSV.
Correct.
NSV does a lot more things, right?
Correct.
It has actually inertial.
Correct.
So how are you able to, like, what
Correct.
is your accuracy on
Correct.
that?
So roughness index is based on the accelerometer based instrument. So vibration of accelerometer, there is some standard publication by Indian Road Congress, IRC SP16. On the basis of there is a mention. If you took
So what are the sensors you have? So you have a 360-degree camera, you have an accelerometer,
gyroscope.
you have a gyroscope.
Yeah.
So these are 3 you have.
That is the complete unit. So that complete unit we calibrate. Like there is a one methodology mentioned by the ASTMS. So we can calibrate same device using one stretch of road of 5 kilometer with 3-track trial. You can analyze the data, and on the basis of that data, you can make the high level like range. Good range and bad range. On the basis of those range, you come up with the one index value. That index value is IRI.
She's going to
Just 5 seconds.
We can talk
So
later.
it's a IRI value, and on the basis of that, we can calculate like inches per mile versus
So did you do
mm
ground
per
truthing with any of these LiDAR and instrumented vehicles, NSVs? You actually did a ground truthing of whatever?
Yeah, we have. We have done the comparison with NSVs for the Maharashtra PWD. We are doing entire state of Maharashtra. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the presentation. Sorry to say that we are a bit late. That's why we are strict to the time. And now I would like to invite ferry rides. Juries, please note, it's ferry rides. Ferry rides. Yeah, over to you.
So, hello everyone. My name is Ajay, and I'm the founder and CEO of Rides. So, before actually going on to the pitch, I would like to start with a small story. So, 5 years back, I was in my MBA preparation phase, and one of my friend who used to come to the coaching center on a bike taxi, because in 2020 or 2019, the bike taxi segment was growing, I would say, at a very high pace. So, she used to travel with a bike taxi, and one day when she arrived to the coaching center, she was crying very badly. So for the first time, I saw someone crying that badly. So I asked her just what happened, what went wrong. She mentioned that the bike taxi driver first asked her to sit closer to her. And when she refused, he suddenly started doing rash driving so that the braking system and the touching, body touching can happen. And there is a very dark patch in Chandigarh where we had the coaching center. So she had to travel from that particular patch to the coaching center crying. So that was I would say, anxiety moment. She has to face that particular sexual harassment case on bike taxi. From there, she mentioned that you guys have all the options and ladko ke liye सब कुछ बहुत easy है. But there's this one statement she mentioned that कि एक लड़की अगर आज यहाँ होती तो ये नहीं होता. I don't know why that statement got stuck in my mind for a quite longer time. And when I started doing my MBA, I met my co-founder Vindhya. She used to travel in Delhi NCR for her job. And then I discussed that something is in my mind for quite longer time. Can we do something about this? Then we started doing research. And then we got to understand, after talking to almost 5,000 potential customers in Gurugram, Haryana and Delhi, we got to understand that the insecurity, overcrowding and unreliable public transport is a very big issue in NCR as of now. I would say it's not in NCR, it's a pan-India issue, women's safety and mobility and this public transport. So almost 8 out of 10 women are subjected to some kind of assault while traveling in public transport. It's a very, I would say, 8 out of 10, 80% data is, again, it's a huge problem. 91% women face sexual harassment, aggression, teasing, groping, molestation, harassment in public transport. And more than 76% women have reported that irregularities of public transport hinders their daily schedule of maybe going to the office space or maybe work and every commuting. So introducing Ferry, it's a women-led mobility service, zero anxiety mobility platform we have created for women by women. After interacting with almost thousands of women that what actually they need. We did not started doing, I would say, building a product that, yes, there is a problem and let's start building a product. First, we assess what actually the customer wants, what actually those 5,000 women wants, and then after that particular thing, we started designing the application and then started doing the research and then onboarding the partners. So yeah, so we have recently completed 65,000 rides in Gurugram as of now. So there are a few highlights that we have empowered and trained more than 250 plus women partners to join mobility in Gurugram as of now. And we have provided 65,000 plus rides, ensured 100% female workforce, and focusing on the dignified livelihood opportunities for women. And 100% electric fleet we have, in-house fleet. Every ride is insured and we follow proper government regulations. So the current offerings which we have right now is we are providing the scheduled ride on bike taxi, which no one in NCR is doing right now. We have on-demand service, which is general mobility service, and then there is a city rentals where they can the user can rent it for an hour. The sister partner will be there with them, and they can take them to multiple locations. So how did mobility, I would say, help achieve the objectives which we want to solve? Mobility. Again, it can be different meaning for different people. For example, for environment, if I talk about, it will be more of the CO2 emissions, greener tomorrow. For users, maybe that will impact on their daily commute and their work life. For sister partners, that can be more of that as part of the empowerment, opportunity to do jobs. And again, for green mobility, electric fleet reducing a carbon footprint. So these are a few of the impact which we have created till now. We have roughly impacted close to 180,000 plus lives in Gurugram as of now. 80,000 plus ferry community. There are women who are supporting us in the Gurugram. 250 plus jobs created and empowered. Reduction of carbon footprints because we have driven close to 650,000 plus EV kilometers. And financial inclusion, that's saving 30 to 50% of the consumers, the average spent per day. And then safety and security, that we are conducting training sessions with Hero MotoCorp Safety Park, multiple training sessions to polish them to drive more and more in a better way. And the customer uses that we have a repeat rate of almost 80% plus. On scheduled rides, we have a repeat rate of 98%. So that is just the numbers. So this is a small story that, again, as Jayabharti ji also mentioned one story about her driver partner. So there's one of the partner, Sonia. She joined us when we started Ferry. Before that, she was not working anywhere. And her daughter is very, I would say, she is a talented karate kid. But she was not preparing, or there was some financial barrier. Her father don't wanted to support her or fund her karate journey. And she joined Ferry. Roughly, she is earning close to 26,000 per month with Ferry. And now she is supporting her daughter. Her daughter has won almost 12 plus national medals in the last 6 months. So that is the kind of impact also that we create while promoting women empowerment. So these are, I would say, the next, what is our vision and future for the commitments going forward, that we want to empower 10,000 plus women to choose driving as a profession in-house ferry fleet in the next 5 years, scale the, I would say, fleet to 5,000 plus vehicles, expand to 20 plus cities, and launch a ferry mobility academy for skill training of the sister partners, financial literacy, and a digital empowerment. So this is a plan going forward for the 5 years. This is just a customer testimonial where one of the, I would say, lady from Finland, she was a reporter. She faced, again, a similar kind of case on the streets of Gurugram. And then she called on one of her helpline number. Our partner went there and she saved her from, again, the crowd and the mob. And then she clicked the picture and she posted on her official page and the Finland newspaper also that I was saved by ferry. And so this is a few of our recent achievements that we have been recognized as a Shunya Inclusion Empowerment Champion by Niti Aayog. We have supported by the SDFC Parivartan Grant, recognized as a city champion by Josh Talk. We are the first ones, a part of AWS cohort. And this is a product which we have created in-house, that we are the first ones to use AI-based authorization on a mobility platform. So to filter out a mail from using the application, we have integrated the AWS AI authorization, which will eliminate the mail phase from onboarding on the application. Because for us, ensuring the women user safety, but as well as the partner safety is also there important for us. To eliminate the mail from booking the rides, that is the case. And with this, we have almost eliminated close to 30,000 plus males who are trying to sign up on our platform. So right now we have a platform users of 50,000, and they're all women users who are there on the platform. And it's no surge, again, the surge pricing, cancellation, and there are like flat pricing we have, because these are the issues which women are facing on a regular basis. And the call masking and instant messaging support. So everything which we have included is in-house. Okay, so this is a recent product development. We have already created the ferry wallet system, scheduled rides on bike taxi we are doing right now. This is one thing which we have launched recently. It's been 2 days, 2 to 3 days. We have launched a ferry premium cab service in Gurugram. Again, there's a huge space which is to provide a safe, reliable mobility solution after, I would say, 8 p.m. or during the duration, during day duration also. So recently, like 3 days back, we got one call that, hey, my daughter is coming to the airport from Mumbai, and I want to go and pick her because it's 12:30 in the night. So the mother booked a ride from Gurugram. She went with one of our sister partners who was driving the cab. She went to the airport. She picked her daughter at 3:10 in the morning, and then she came back to the Gurugram. So that's why we launched airport premium cabs, where this also ensures a zero cancellation. Again, it's a women-driven cab. It's a different cab than a regular, I would say, the WagonR and Desire. It's a better cab, premium cab. And yes, this is what we are going live with the pilot. So this is a few of our partners who have supported us in this journey as the funding partners at SDFC Parivartan. We are supported by Startup India Seed Fund. Recently, we have closed our seed round from Indian Angel Network. And these are a few of our operating partners, and these are a few of our supporting partners, whether it's NSRCL or ACAC BMU Foundation. So this is our team, where Vindhya is the co-founder and CMO, Himanshu is our in-house CTO, and so I look after strategy, operations, and fundraising. Yeah, so thank you, that's all.
No, but I have business questions only, so you can ask. So are you saying that you're going to, you're buying the vehicles for them?
No, so we are not buying the vehicles. We are taking the vehicles on a rental basis from the VV fleet operators, and then we are keeping it in-house to maintain the standardization of the vehicles, and then we provided the sister partners to run the vehicles for certain duration. Because for us, keeping the vehicles in-house is I would say, the point of quality control that we want to do for the service. Because again, there are so many mobility platforms. One thing that differentiates us from other is the quality of service which we provide. So the vehicles are in-house. We give it to the sister partners to run it for certain duration. And then there's another partner who runs for certain duration, because that we also have to increase the utilization of the vehicles.
Okay. Yeah. And so you're saying that there are, And you
multiple
have
multiple partners on same vehicle. For example, there's one partner who starts a shift at
No,
6.
I got that point. So you're doing the maintenance in-house, so means that you are also maintaining a maintenance team, right?
No, so we are taking the vehicles from our the vehicle partners. The vehicle partners are responsible for maintaining the vehicles on a regular
That
basis.
increases your overhead though.
No, so right now in market there is a lot of EV players who are providing the best quality service. So they charge a certain rental amount for a month, and that is the free of cost. The maintenance and everything is being included with inclusion of the battery swap also. For me, taking a vehicle from outside and then keeping it in-house, that will cost me eventually close to 7,000 or 8,000, including the maintenance guy. But for me, taking the vehicles on a rental basis from someone else, costing me 4,800 plus something GST. So that is again saving my cost almost close to 20%.
The fact that you have with the Angel Network, I assume your business plan is good since you are not evaluating on that. One other question is, again, the same thing that I asked other one. Again, you have your own closed system. Don't you want it to be at some point mobility as a service where people come, they're booking 2-3 items, right? They come by metro, and yours is the last mile connectivity. So do you have any plans for changing your the platform that your thing is, like the ONDC platforms and the backend protocols? All these help you get there, like the Namayatri kind of thing, right? Because all of you have closed systems, and finally yours should be connecting to the last mile connectivity, right?
Okay, so we are in talk with ONDC to find a solution because again, promoting ferry on ONDC, for me also again the elimination of mail from using the application, because at the end the partner has to do the rights. So that particular transition, how will I figure out with ONDC? We have already submitted one application to ONDC and we are in connect with them that how can we solve this problem. Again, focusing on the service quality, because keeping the in-house fleet of the 2-wheelers, again I'm not going to 3-wheelers because Jai Bharati is already doing it, and then 4-wheelers. If I have this in-house and I have my own application and it's a mobility platform all across Gurugram and we want to expand it to multiple cities, again, I would love to keep it in-house till the time it reaches a scale where we can manage the thing that also that someone else, mobility as a service kind of thing, some user can onboard on a platform, some female user who is staying in her house and she wants to drive for 2 hours or 3 hours. That is what I think you are saying.
No, I'm saying that somebody is coming metro, they want to book yours, they want to have a same ticket for both, right? So at some point, that's where we are moving to.
Okay, so we are already integrating with the DMRC. So DMRC application, we are integrating the ferry rights application where a person, when she is booking the metro ticket, she'll get an option to book ferry from the metro to the first last mile.
Then you're doing a lot more work. If you are in one of these protocols, it will be a lot less work, ODC and backend protocol or something. Anyway, that's fine. Anything?
Thank you. So one big gap that we have in the market currently is after Blue Smart has gone, people are finding it very tough to find actually a reliable, a cab service. People have not been happy with the incumbents so far. While I know you're building this only for women, apart from it being women-centric, what is the difference that you see with the Blue Smart thing that was built?
So again, Blue Smart has kept a very big gap in the market. People are looking forward to have a reliable mobility solution. For us also to start, like our mentor Hari sir also, he's keep pushing us to start a reliable service. But at first, the brand perception of ferry is that it's a for women by women platform. So as of now, we don't want to, I would say, because first, if we can build a brand, people will recognize that as ferry, it's a women safety, women-faced brand. So once that thing is established, okay, in cab, we are allowing one, I would say, if there is a female, then a male can also join the cab. A family can also travel, because we don't want to eliminate all the, I would say, user base. So the family is there, the women can travel alone also, but we are not allowing any male, because at the end, the booking will come from the women's account. So that is, we are providing. Again, it's a pilot, so we will be continuing it for 3 months with some cabs. And as and when we get the demand, because again, in last 3 days, we have started receiving a lot of requests, because everyone is mentioning that you are providing a similar service as Blue Smart. We would love to. We are getting requests from Noida, Delhi, and we are unable to fulfill those demands. But yes, we will kind of, I would say, take it at a scale where we can provide the reliable service to multiple user base.
Have competition in this space?
For cabs?
Yes, for cabs as well. They have been players who have been in this space. How are you different?
Again, if as Jayabhadati ji also mentioned, that it's a $150 billion market space. Again, there is this, so many platforms, Ola, Uber, Rapido, Ivera, Lithium. There are multiple players in the market. But again, the market is huge. There is a place to sustain for 10, 15 players. It's not, I would say, not a game of one player to take the whole market. So that is the kind of, we want to provide, we want to have our own space of niche, like I would say the women base, women customer base. Again, with respect to BlueSmart, there was almost 52% user base was female. And BlueSmart was doing pretty good. Again, there's the backstory which is entirely different, but it was doing pretty good. So if we can service to those particular 51 or 52% women customer base, it's a huge market space for us also. So there is a space to sustain for everyone. That's not, I would say, there's not more of that we want to compete with anyone. We want to create our own space and we want to serve, I would say, to provide the best quality service for women and by women. That's it.
Thank you so much for your rights. Now I would like to invite Kazam Tech EV Tech Private Limited. Judges, juries, please note, Kazam EV Tech Private Limited.
Good morning, judges and fellow delegates. Honored to be here today and speak about one of the core challenges at the heart of the National Electric Bus Mission. So, today, over the last 5 decades, the Indian EV bus ecosystem has recently started shaping up. For the 5 decades, we have been running on diesel fuel bus operation that has led to the whole system being designed around the diesel fuel operation. And now, when we are transitioning towards urban mobility, we are talking about zero-emission buses and electric buses. These buses are an entirely different ecosystem. These are run on energy. They don't just need energy, they need smart energy management. In case of diesel bus, once the shift is over, you park it, and then you refuel it, and then you leave it. But in case of EV bus, the power load needs to be sanctioned, the schedule needs to be managed, and the sanction load has to be there. And the grid capacity is extremely important as well. So it's an entirely different ecosystem for which the traditional ecosystem players are evolving from ICE to EV vehicle. And we here want to power this operation. So under the NEBP and PM EV Bus Seva mission, we are planning to deploy 50,000, government is planning to deploy 50,000 EV buses in the ecosystem. These buses, these electric fleets, are powered by the depots they are operated in. And yet, these 50,000 bus electric fleets would require 500 electric depots. It's not about the number of buses that are on the road, but it's about how smartly the depots where they source their energy from are managed. And hence, these energy hubs, the depots, the electric fleet where they're charging, becomes the energy microcosm, where the multiple charging schedules are being managed, megawatts of power being rotated. So this energy hub becomes the core of EV bus operation. Yet, it is disappointing to see that the ecosystem is still running on manual data entry, telephonic and WhatsApp alignment, and driver and fleet schedule being managed on Excel sheets. Now coming to some more of the problems. Inside India's electric bus depot, the operational gaps are massive. As I talked about, that a lot of operation is being handled manually. Majority of the EV buses on road are operating under the GCC model, which is a government-private partnership. In this, a traditional OEM is pushed to be an operator of the EV buses. So the OEM that was operating the ICE fleet till now is now operating the EV bus fleet. Now he has to manage the charging network, ensure the bus health and maintenance, and ensure that each bus reaches the designated schedule on time. And this is causing a lot of issues. They have to face penalties, they have to sync all the things together. So when you walk into a typical EV bus depot, what do you see? The charger, the routes, and the schedules is not connected together. Can you imagine the mess? Such a massive operation being operated on WhatsApp and telephonic conversations still. So, another facet of the same problem of depot management is also energy losses. So, when you see a depot, it has sanction load, as I discussed. There's a peak hour, TOD and non-TOD concept, where the prices of electricity vary, costing huge amounts in peak hour utilization of buses. This charging infra losses altogether amount to huge cost for the operator on a monthly and yearly basis. I'll come to the numbers. But I'm trying to highlight here that the energy losses are not being visible today. They do not, the operator does not have the visibility of the energy losses. And so an operator does not know if a trip, if the transformer is about to trip or sanction load has exceeded until they get the electricity bill at the month end. And that is when the shock appears to them. Let me take a case of an EV bus depot here. So what we see is a bus depot case. This is the general reality, by the way, of the EV buses. It's a 100 bus depot operating with a 500 megawatt hour of energy in a month. So what is observed is a 15% loss at these depots, out of which 7 to 8% is in the acceptable range due to the conversion, power cabling loss, etc. But the additional 7 to 8% loss, which is unidentified, costs them huge amounts. To number these, for a 500 megawatt depot, the 7 additional percentage of loss amounts to 38 lakh a year, 40 megawatts per month loss. And the peak hour spikes driving up cost without load management. So what I'm trying to say here is energy management, the integration of the system of route, schedule, driver, charging bay operation, and visibility of it all to the EV depot operator is being a missing link in the EV ecosystem. And I believe in an electric future, the digital readiness of the depot will define the operational readiness of the buses on the road. Hi, I am Kiran, and this is Tejas, and together we represent Kazam, a new energy gateway of India. So I think if we have gotten decent hang of the problem, and I would like to now move more towards solution, how we are trying to solve this. So Kazam is here to solve this problem with an intelligent, smart depot management solution. What we do, or what we aim to do, is maximize every energy unit per kilometer. We do this with the three-forked approach. Number one is we identify the energy leakages. We do the real-time audit of the grid of the depot from the grid to charger to the vehicle level and identify the energy leakages there. Number two is asset health monitoring, where we see the charger and battery performance and uptime of these. Because if a bus stops on the road, it causes a whole ruckus in the whole city. And the third is intelligent queuing system. This system is an integrated solution on the basis of charger availability, the route that bus needs to cover when it's coming in. It syncs all of that and allows the buses to be queued in the right fashion. So this is the overview of the solution, and I would like to invite Tejas to present more on the feature. Tejas has been the core part of the product development and solution deployment on field, and I would like to hand it over to Tejas from here.
So when it comes to electrifying a bus depot, there are so many aspects that are involved in. So the first step that we do as an onboarding process, that we onboard all the assets that are there, starting from the grid to transformers, to chargers and the vehicles. We have multiple methods of doing that. So we have like Kazam IoTH that enables us to get the data points from all the multifunction meters that are present in the depot. From that, we are able to deliver and retrieve the data that we need for the further analysis that is there. So this is what you are seeing right now is a digital twin of a depot. Here you can see the energy is being drawn from the grid and passed down to the vehicles that are here. you can see there are multiple assets that are involved, which is like the transformer is there. From the transformers, the energy is being transferred to the chargers, and from the chargers to the vehicles. After integrating all these assets, what we come up with, that we can get the entire ecosystem onboarded on a digital platform where you can track and monitor each and every buses, performance-wise, charging-wise, and their future operation-wise. So, yeah. So this is the energy management platform of Kazam. While integrating the EMS, we do integrate hub-level smart meter integration via Kazam IoT Edge. We do have the efficiency scoring for transformers, chargers, that helps you to benchmark the SLAs of each and every vendor, that helps you to benchmark all the assets that are there. Along with that, we have live alerts that helps you to help you monitor and optimize the operations based on the critical situation that may arise. How we do it is basically this. You can see it's an live depot that we have on our platform where you can see all the assets and the data is in real time. You can plan the charging operation based on that. But after integrating all the assets from routes, schedules, and the vehicles, what we get is this, which is called as dynamic queuing, you can say. Here you can see which bus, like we do integrate with the previous data, and you see which bus has to be charged on which charger, till what SOC, on what route the bus is going, and how much SOC that route requires. We do take all this decision from the previous data that we have captured from the buses. So if the bus is not performing as per this, that means there is a preventive maintenance that is required for the bus or the charger. It will give you the estimation time of the charger, how much time it will take to charge, and all the required parameters that are already mapped over here. This helps you to take an intelligent decision based on how you are planning the operations and how you are planning the schedules and trips for the vehicles. So here you can see the asset.
We'll just wrap in a minute, if that's okay. Thank you. So what we see here is a difference between the charger and smart meter graph. The variance that you see between the green and blue is the losses that are identified at a panel. So this is of the charger, and it shows the efficiency of the charger on the basis of that. We also do load balancing. We can cover this more in Q&A. This is the unified dashboard where all the tender KPIs on the which penalties are charged can be mapped. We can assign tickets, technicians, etc. also from the app and see if the ticket is closed timely for maintenance. Driver and schedule assignment, route optimization also happens in a digitized manner. This is a smart CCTV solution wherein you have a real-time view at the depot. This can be used to see if a non-EV vehicle is entering the premises, if the driver is behaving properly, if the charging bay operation compliance is being managed, if fire and smoke is also happening. All that kind of detection in the real time. What makes our solution unique is we give actionable insights. We don't just give information, we convert it into alerts that can be acted upon. We also give field services, and we try to integrate energy, equipment, and people in one single platform. So this is our tech feasibility. We are 100% OCPP compliant, and we have the European standard certification that makes us geography agnostic as well. We are hardware agnostic. We have worked with 250 charger OEMs, 7+ bus OEMs, and we are interoperable across different systems. Okay, so this is, this is the current status. We have worked across 10 cities, integrated 44 depots, 328 chargers, and 1,900 buses live on the platform, and we are mobilizing 6.6 gigawatt of energy. This has resulted into 40% reduction in energy loss at the depot, 60% drop in charger downtime, and rupees 10 to 15 lakhs of annual saving at a single depot. Now imagine if this can be scaled for 50,000 buses that are going to come in operation, we're talking about 200 crores. Yeah, so this is the team that is scaling EMS. All right. Together, we can power the 50,000 e-bus mission, and with the efficient, data-driven, and proudly Indian solution. Thank you so much.
Okay, so who's your customer? Is it the STU or the operating agency?
So our customer is the operators, the bus operators. A lot of times, what we'll see in the bus ecosystem is...
Let's move on, okay? Because she is, and I have another session at 2:30.
Okay.
So second question on that is, if the bus operator is this one, they are paying the losses only from the charger to the bus. Anything before that, the STU is paying for it. So why would they care about this whole thing as a depot?
So the electricity bill is reimbursed, but the energy losses, so there's a sanction load, and the overall energy loss that is happening, so the chargers are deployed by this operator themselves here, and the electricity bill is reimbursed by the government.
At the charger level, the electricity bill is reimbursed. I'm saying it is 2 levels, right?
Yeah.
The first level, the STU is responsible.
So extra electricity bill is paid by the operator, and that is not reimbursed. So above the limit allotted for the charges according to the bus operation in that depot, when it exceeds that limit, it has to be paid by the operator.
Okay.
There's an energy unit allocated for per bus operation.
Yeah, that's where I think the losses may not be that clear as you're thinking. As of now, you're not doing anything on the real-time SOW, right?
No, no,
The
we are.
SOC. So when the bus is coming, you're not paying attention to what is the charge on the bus.
We are, yes.
You are? So you're getting that information before
Yes.
the bus comes itself, when it's on the way?
So yeah, we get the data in 2 formats. Like when the bus connected to the charger, we
That
get
is
the
fine.
SOC, and then via telematics, we do get the SOC data as well.
So yours is connected to telematics.
Yes.
But nowhere have you talked about the telematic device and integrating the telematics also.
So yeah, we
locations.
just had to wrap that slide up.
Achha, okay.
So
Fine.
when we were talking about intelligent queuing, that is based on the SOC that bus comes in, and the SOC it needs to go out according to the range it needs to cover further. Let's say if it has to cover 20 kilometer, how many kilowatt it needs, that charging slot only will be allotted.
And I know it's not a problem in India, but the peak charging also, do you have any thought process if the peak charging
Yes,
is
this
implemented?
helps with the non-TOD hours. We give non-TOD alerts to the operator. Yes, on the mobile app.
Now this is being followed across all the OEMs. Like we are working with JBM, PM, and all the depots are now following the TOD timings because that represents a huge impact on the electricity bill monthly.
Thank you. So here, when you're talking about the charging part, this is at the depot itself. While they're on the route, is there any, do you have visibility on where they can charge again? But that will, so you have to route the entire map to see where the chargers are and how effective they are? Is that a part of your system?
Yes, this is the part of the system. We do integrate with the geofencing. We do locate all the captive charging stations that are there, and we do map it on the maps. So if there is any need or the bus has to charge on some place, it is already mapped on the map, and it will be suggested to the driver if required, or else they know in the routes it is already mentioned if they are covering a longer route and that has in between charging station, so they will be suggested as per the their instructions. They are being instructed. Yeah.
But these charges are irrespective of the player who's operating it.
Yes.
It could be anyone. And
they have mostly planned it very well. Like it's charging at the depot A for overall charging, and it's doing opportunity charging at B point. So when you do the route planning, it's taken into consideration. At this point, the bus will be stopping from A to B. B, it's a stop for 10 minutes for opportunity charging, or 30 minutes, depending on that, and then it goes ahead. So route planning is the
Right now,
feature
there's no
for that.
standardization about all these charging stations, right?
Correct.
So does it work across all of them? Like each one of them has their own
Yes.
everything?
No, so that's where when we mentioned tech feasibility, we shared how we have worked with 250 plus charger OEMs in the whole EV ecosystem, right? So we are integrated with all the chargers of the operator, and usually in the GCC, they are charging on their own network itself. If it's B2C operation, then they're going for that kind of utilization where we provide OCPI integration for them.
Which are some of these places where you're working? You said 10, 11 places, you said. Which are these?
The clients, you mean? We are working with all the major OEMs and operators. We are working with JBM, PMI, Greencell, Transvolt, and we are also working with ECA and Volvo Aisha. So we have started 3 years ago, and all of these products have evolved alongside the market. So we have sat in the depots to build these solutions out for them. Thank you so much.
We saved your time here, no? You would be happy. You were concerned earlier.
No, since we don't have much, yeah.
Say that even within the time, the two of you together should complete.
I think no worries, we can take everything offline, everybody will be here, so yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you so much, Kasam, for the wonderful presentation. And over to the last presentation, we have Drive IQ. Juries, please note Drive IQ.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I think now I have to run on time, given that the last presentation has exceeded. Myself, Muthu, I'm representing Drive IQ today. Sorry about my throat. So the whole idea came, I was standing in a signal late at night, and no one was waiting for the red to become green. Most of you guys would have faced the same issue and the same feeling. And I'm thinking, why I'm not incentivized? Because I'm waiting. Then I come from the insurance industry, so I'm pondering over this idea as I go back. Which one is this? Okay, sorry. So, would you guys believe if I say the Indian road accidents actually claim more lives than wars in India? In a year, there is almost 1.7 lakh lives getting claimed due to accidental death. And this is not it. The number of accidents is almost 4 to 5 lakhs. And the number of incidents due to which the injury occurs is more than this. This is fatality, which I'm talking about, which is 1.7 lakhs. And even bigger issue, India is close to 36 crore vehicle registered. In that, 14 crore plus vehicle don't have an insurance policy. When I mean insurance, the third party policy, because in insurance policy there is OD, own damage, and third party, the RTO mandates third party. So just to deep dive, I'm sorry. This is a little more, as I said, the number of accidents is close to more than 4 lakhs, and you can see the number of injuries as well. So at times injury, partial loss of your feet, hand, anything, that's not getting noticed inside the fatalities. So that is another problem statement which has to be taken into consideration. And you can see the number of accidents are growing at 16.5% and fatality at 12%. And due to speed, almost 68% the fatality rate has been increased. This is, as I said, almost 14 crore vehicle are not being registered. And one more thing in India which is happening is, on a yearly basis, the number of sale of vehicle on an average, I'm talking about two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, commercial vehicle put together, around 6 to 9% is the growth which is happening in these vehicles. You can imagine where we are going with this. So that's where the solution comes. As I said, I come from the insurance industry. So I was thinking how to solve this problem. How do we incentivize people who follow the rules and not incentivize ones who are not following the rules? Because I'm sure recently you guys would have seen every state the helmet thing started. People got penalties, they started wearing helmets. Same thing, why do people pay EMIs on time? Their CIBIL score gets affected. So it's like a characteristic thing which comes into them when they get penalized or not. So what we are trying to do is, today every vehicle has challans. It can be drunken drive challan, it can be crossing the signal, number of challans, and it's increasing. That's a good thing in India. Now, we are trying to bring a score like the CIBIL score with this. That's the solution we are working on. Let's say someone has a drunken drive, then the number of points we give for that negative points is higher. Someone has jumped signals multiple times, then it keeps increasing drastically. If someone has done only once, the amount is less reduced. So what happens with this, the data will be shared with the insurance, where they can give them more discount depending on the score. If the score is very bad, they can even penalize them by giving negative discounts. That's not it. The other solution, what we are trying to do is, someone who is not paying to the bank, what is CIBIL score actually trying to show your characteristic? So someone not paying to the bank and not paying to the government also is a bigger issue. So we are trying to give the same score to the banks also, so they can increase or decrease the rate depending on the interest rates I'm talking about. Like it can be considered like a CIBIL score. Getting to that point, why? I'll finish this and get to that point. This is how we are trying to solve the second problem, major problem, which I said, the 14 crore vehicle which was not insured. Actually, if we take the data from Vagan, which has the 35 crore vehicle, and get the APIs from insurance companies, which has all the registered vehicles, we can segregate this 14 crore vehicles. And all these 14 crore vehicles majorly has FASTags. And these FASTags are linked to mobile numbers of the owners of the vehicle, majorly, again. So this is where we can hit them. So they can be stopped at tolls, they can be denied insurance renewal or FC renewals. And actually, because this FASTag is linked to a bank account, we can even do a third-party policy and send it to them in WhatsApp, because we can have any PSU insurance company to take care of that if government can mandate that. Because a lot of people who get hit and the insurance is not there, they don't get any benefits. Court cannot give them. That's where the problem is. I'm sorry. So how we are trying to do that? In India, the technology-wise, the kind of cameras which are used are not a little bit lagging. So we are trying to work with the state governments with a PPP model. Already we have pitched this to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is interested. So they're trying to give us a space to do a POC with them. And then we are also trying to use the Edge AI so that the latency is less. We are able to solve the issue there itself. And then FASTag integration, all other tech stack gets added to it. So how it happens, the camera detects, and then ANPR is automatic number plate recognition, and the FASTags, all the tech stack can be used to speed up the task. And then we will also check if driving license is live and the insurance status is valid. This also helps the insurer, because normally insurance claim doesn't get gets declined if the driving license is not valid. And then the e-challan gets issued automatically, and sanctions will be applied if they don't comply, and they get benefit in the insurance side if at all they follow. So till now, if you see, the number of e-challans issued in India is 18.24 crores, and the revenue collected is 12,600. This is actually hardly 55 to 60%. It's not the whole 100%, because a lot of people are not paying it. This gives you the example. So in Uttar Pradesh, which is number one, 8.7 crore challans has been issued. They've collected 2,400 crores. Look at Tamil Nadu, which is number two in number of challans, which is 5.5 crores. But they are able to collect only 750 crores. Because there is a Supreme Court order which says people should not be forced or harassed to collect this money. Because this is challan, it's not they cannot be arrested or done anything to them. So all these guys are able to do is have a telecaller center calling people and requesting them, can you kindly pay it? And most of them don't pay it, because only when you sell the vehicle, you need the NOC. Until then, you don't have any issue. And there's no interest if you don't pay. And there's no other penalties. So there's no incentive for them to pay this. So again, a little bit on the tech stack, which I wanted to touch upon. Okay, so we are trying to bring in a culture here. I was recently traveling to Germany, France, Dubai, Singapore. The point which I see there, people follow. Why? Because a characteristic has been made by the government with rules. In India, there are rules, but there is no way to follow it, or implementation is not happening in the right way. I think by having this kind of, because CIBIL score has already proven that something is there, people are ready to do it. So that's where we are trying to work out the same kind of, by giving them karma points. Also, this will help the city fleets. For example, be the Swiggies and Zomatos. You can see a lot of these two-wheelers in a very unruly way driving around. So we can give them this data as well. And interestingly, one other HR told me that they would also love to have this data to understand the character of that person, how they are. And we can also have a toll cashback system for people who follow the rules. So our thought process, and this is what. So as I said, sir, we are actually coming up with a score.
What is it? What is the device that you are installing? What is it?
No device. There's no device needed. It's very simple. So what we are doing is, from Vagan, we are taking the Challan API.
So how are you dealing with the DPDP Act?
So data is protected via, it is tokenized. We are not using any individuals. It is only vehicle numbers. So we don't have to take any individual name in this. We don't want the ownership. We only look at the vehicle number as such, because the challans attached to the vehicle. Vehicle can be changing to multiple people.
So explain me the solution one more time.
Sir, okay, I'll just tell. So we are actually taking APIs from Vagan. Now we have everyone's challan, how much they have. And internally we have a system where we run it and we come with a score, which is the Drive IQ score, which will come with, like CIBIL score. And now this score is given to all the insurance companies. We give an API to the insurance companies. So whenever underwriting process is happening for the motor insurance renewal, they will look at the score and they will give discount accordingly. Like how today you go to a bank, if your CIBIL score is above 820, you understand. So this one. Okay.
The point, I think, what you're trying to make is already happening. What you're adding is the incentivized.
So yes, these are all in.
Any of these operators or any of the people in the ecosystem is building this layer.
This already did this sometime back and stopped already.
Which one you're talking about, sir?
The scoring, there are two ways of scoring, right? In US, what you're saying is what happens. Insurance, you end up paying so much.
Yes.
So because of which we are all careful. In UK, they have something called a credit, like essentially.
Yes, I know.
Kind of thing, right? So Hyderabad did this about 8 years back or something. The challenge that happens with this is there are various complaints. Right? Even now the challans don't get paid not because people don't want to pay it. It's because we never have the correct addresses in the database. Okay, it's because we have a lifetime registration on the vehicles. We don't have a yearly registration on the vehicles. Okay,
absolutely.
Because of which the addresses are never correct. In general, the Indian thing is most of the people, if they get a ticket, challan, they pay it. Most of them don't get the challan because you move and most of them are like that. Okay? So you're not solving the problem that is there.
This is exact data where I think from Ministry of Road, and this is the actual data. And I actually interacted with the IAS and IPSs from the transport department and corporation in Tamil Nadu, and actually it's not getting paid. It's not actually the reason what you say. It's not only the address.
I work in this area.
Okay, sir.
Around 25% of the people get paid. Okay, whatever challans you set, right? That has been the standard for the last 15 years in India. And whenever we are looking at it, most of the conversation is that the addresses are not correct. So actually, the government is acting on making it right.
So today, as you know, given that Vagan and there are other apps, people are able to see how many challans are left on their name. So I think today it's not the matter of address. When you said 8 years back, the tech and everything was different. I think right now there is so much advancement plus, and one more thing is, a lot of places AI cameras are getting replaced. A lot of states are investing in it. So the number of challans are going up drastically by this. Mumbai government is already working with in a PPP model in a highway where by 60% the number of challans have gone up. Where the third party has installed all these cameras and they are giving per challan 600 rupees or something. They have worked out something. So I think there's a drastic change which can be done. And as you rightly brought out the point on the insurance, today, because I have 13 years experience in the insurance field. We are IRDA registered brokers. So today I can give you a discount depending on your CIBIL score. If your CIBIL score is above 800, in IRDA sandbox they have done this. What is the thought process? That you are a more matured person and you will not do rash driving. That is why we are giving this discount. Actually, is that data point more relevant? No. I think this data point is more relevant compared to that. When I am able to give a discount on your CIBIL score, why not this point?
Okay, you move forward. You move forward and try to complete.
So this is what we are trying to achieve. Trying to bring down the number of accidents and increase the revenue collection, when I mean revenue here, and also try to save more number of lives as much as possible. So these are our revenue model. We give it as the SaaS model will be there to all the state governments to take some amount, and then insurance underwriting separately we will charge them, and we will have banking partnership as we are sharing this data to the banks as well. And data intelligence is something, as I said, we can give it to the fleets and all others and on something. And on every challan we are trying to get some money if we are able to recover the challan amount for them. So this is our 5-year trajectory we are looking at. Right now, initially, day one, we might not get into PPP model because all we want to do is do the score first, because there is a lot of time delay with the government negotiation and everything. But for this, we don't have to, because already the API is available. Per call of calling this API is 10 rupees. So we can go ahead and start it right away. And we are also looking what is the strategic alignment we have with all the kind of institution, what is their thought process. And if you see, we almost align with all the thought process, what these guys have for 2030 or 2035, their achievement, what they want to do. We can support them in that. So we can also support the government if at all they want, as we can stop these guys at the toll, because the FASTag is, we understand insurance is there or not. We can have a setup booth there, so help them get the insurance types. And also, we can partner with the logistics guys to help them understand how the fleet movement is happening, how they can improvise their drivers. So mostly what we are trying to do holistically, as you can see, we are trying to bring in the same culture which is other countries which have brought in, and with a score. At least there's a number to define it. And there's a definition process. This is how we are going to do it. Yep. Thank you.
What is your revenue model?
So, with the insurance underwriting, insurance companies will pay us on per call basis. We will give the API to them for the score. Whenever they underwrite, the score they can be used to either give higher discount or negative discount. Next thing is we give the same to banks. So banks can increase your interest rate. Today, how they use CIBIL for it, CIBIL charges the banks whenever they take it. Similarly, we can do that.
Are these people in the ecosystem willing to pay for this? I mean, what stops the, some insurance company from actually doing an API integration and getting the challan data themselves?
Absolutely right. So they can get this data alone. That is the only point they might have. But what we are trying to do, that's why, is also bring the CIBIL score into our system to understand how these guys are. We will obviously have a segregated weight for it. So this becomes more combined. Rather than each guy doing the whole system, which is going to be very costly for them, this becomes more reasonable for them. We have already discussed with most of the insurance companies because we know the national heads closely. They're very happy to use this. And whatever improvisation happens, we keep doing improvisation. This is not their core business. They'll only have one system where other companies, new tech companies like Acco, GoDigit, will like to prefer to go improvise on it.
Okay, all the best to you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. With that, we conclude the pitch session today. To conclude this, I would like to invite Narendra from GIZ. And signing off, this is Alisha Davis, co-founder and chief marketing officer from Carve Startup Labs. And we have Vishnu Nagraj here, founder and CEO of Carve Startup Labs. Thank you so much. Thank you, Narendra, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Alisha. Before we wrap it up, I just wanted to quickly do a special mention. So while we received 60-odd proposals, we received a proposal from a 14-year-old homeschooling student, Ishan Balerao. So although we did not select his proposal for the final pitch, but he requested us if he can attend the UMI conference, right? So we gave him the passes, and he and his mother, they are here today. So I just quickly wanted to introduce Ishan. And I want his mother to also join us on the stage, and maybe Ishan would like to say a few things because, and just a quick introduction. So Ishan has also has a very keen interest in data science and AI. He has completed several courses offered by IBM and all. And maybe Ishan, you would like to talk about your proposal and what motivates you, right?
Hello, my name is Ishan Bhalerao. And yeah, so thank you for this opportunity. And the first thing I wanted to say was that this opportunity to speak was very unexpected. So thank you. My proposal was something called Civitas AI, basically an AI-powered suite for city planners, and it had 4 specific segments. It was still in the conceptual stage, and it had 4 segments. The first one was called Urban Flow, where you use real-time data and AI for traffic modeling and management and modeling. The second segment was something called Ecosym, where I was going to make digital twins of projects like buildings or bridges or tunnels, or whatever, or construction sites to simulate the energy use and emissions. The third segment was Safe City Vision. Basically, it uses CCTV footage and sensors with computer vision to detect cracks and fissures and leaks when they're still cheap to fix, and it reports them to the authorities as needed. And the final segment, which is slightly controversial, but the final segment was Equimap, where there's demographic data from various sources and about various things like income or ethnicity or something like that, and gender, where that data is basically used to help identify whether the thing that's being planned right now, or a new road or a new development, a new building, will disproportionately benefit certain groups over others, and provide some sort of suggestions to how the planner can plan them again so that it benefits as many people as possible. So I thank everyone for this opportunity, and I also thank Narendra sir, and I thank everyone at this conference and I thank GIZ. I thank you all.
So Ishan, Professor Kovali is there from ISC. You can get in touch with him if you need any guidance going forward, yeah? And please feel free to come to us for any support that you might need in future, right? We'll be very happy to provide any support that you might need. And thank you, Radhika ji, for coming as well. Thank you very much. So let me just invite Shilpi from Mahua for the final distribution ceremony. Shilpi, over to you.
Thank you to all the jury members and moderator ma'am for conducting the session so smoothly and keeping the discussions lively. So now I would like to request the Honorable Chair, Dr. M. Ramachandran, former Secretary Mahua, to kindly present the mementos to our jury members as a token of our appreciation for their valuable comments. Professor Vijay Kovalli from IISc Bangalore. Ms. Sarika Saxena, Managing Partner, IN Alpha Fund. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Mr. Sudesh Kumar, former member of Electrical Railway Board, to come up on the stage and present a memento to the Honorable Chair, Dr. M. Ramachandran, as a token of respect. Thank you, sir. As we conclude, I, on behalf of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, wish to express heartfelt gratitude to all the participants, dignitaries, and speakers for their valuable contributions in making this session a success. Thank you all.
Just a very small announcement for all the participants. We'll be announcing winners tomorrow during the valedictory session, right? So it's scheduled at 4 p.m. tomorrow. So please be there. We'll be announcing 3 winners who will receive a check of 1L each from the ministry. Thank you.